Acta non verba. Deeds, not words, make money. Hey, this is Brento, and welcome to Dump City. I thought I would try a Latin introduction. I was looking up some cool Latin phrases, and based on the topic of today's show, making money, I thought that was kind of a cool one. I don't know Latin otherwise. I just looked that up on a website. I have some interesting topics for today's show, though. Quite a bit of a money focus, quite a bit of planning, and I got some interesting social commentary later in the episode too. A few funny, jokey things, and various. I just got a lot of stuff for the show today. Okay, I'm playing right now after a weekend. I haven't seen the game in a few days, so I guess much like most episodes here, we go over the world. As you know, we're simulating the U.S. economy here. I'm really hoping this video will, I'm gonna try to tag it with as many, financial, economic, and money related terms as possible. Just because I hear those are like good keywords, right? And that's the main thing is to have content that maximizes money, right? That's why this episode is called Making Money, because we're making money in the game, but then we want to make money in real life on top of that, right? So right now we're in our Soviet America here. Our population, we're in December. Population has actually gone up a little bit, but we're just holding on. I think I'll start playing a little bit here because we're just kind of trying to get through the winter here. I guess the first rule of making money is don't try to make money in winter. You're just trying to survive in winter. Like right now, we have our workers just going to the heat plant and providing heat, which is more of a survival thing. If we do a spot check here. Oh, we got a problem with the hospital here. We're a little low on doctors. Maybe we'll grab maybe we'll buy a few more doctors for one of these houses. You'll notice there's a lot of people actually staying in the house, so that's a good sign. Just buy some experts. Yoink. For all intents and purposes, I've really tuned this last episode and between episodes. I think nothing too exciting is going to be happening here in Dump City. I've increased the lengths of a lot of these paths here. In the last episode, there's still just finishing up here, but there's people complaining about not being able to get to. Oh, we got a sewer problem here. Let's just check that out. Let's make sure our sewer line's working. It looks okay. Actually, hold on. Was that a sewer problem or was that a garbage issue? Garbage issue. Yeah, it's not a sewer issue. Never mind. Where is our garbage trucks? I think I bought one in a stream only, and it's kind of heading over here. I think it might be resolved. Not too worried about that. And one of the things I'm gonna do this episode is I'm gonna kind of go over the economic plan, like how I expect to make money in this game. Now, this is my second time playing realistic mode here, so I'm not exactly an expert, and the first time I tried, I failed at it. And it was for the reason of running out of money. But this time I have a bit more of a plan. So throughout the episode, I'm going to go over the details of that plan. You'll notice here we have a bunch of hazardous waste at the technical services office. That's because there was another fire, and this time it left I guess it was full of gas, and it left a bunch of hazardous waste behind. So it's, we're still cleaning that out. That really sucks. I actually set up a hazardous waste drop-off spot here between episodes. I planned out, I noticed too in our waste tree here, we have a waste treatment plant. And it doesn't require any technology to research. So I thought it might be good to put it around here because I know the output of it could then possibly go into a standard separation here. I haven't enabled it yet because I'm not 100% sure it will go there. It could go here or something. The main thing is I built a hazardous waste dump here, and that stupid fire in the technical office is going to fill this up. As well, the hospital generates a lot of toxic or hazardous waste as well. So it there's multiple sources that would actually use that. As in the previous episodes, we're borrowing 200,000 at a time here to stay afloat, to to pay our interest and our expenses here. And I guess in the first bit here, we'll just look over the world here. Again, I'm reintroducing myself to the game just like you are, right? Like I haven't played in a few days, so I forget exactly where I left off. If you actually had just watched the previous episode or watched it within a day or so, then you are more up to date than me on what's going on here. But I see a lot of our construction workers are busy. I know our track builder has been doing a lot of work. Oh, and I want to show you one other really cool thing here too. Remember our GG1 train? I bought this bad boy here. See that? Look at this one wagon. It wasn't used or anything, but it holds 90 tons of construction waste or coal, 92 tons. And this thing moves at, it has a maximum speed of 160 kilometers an hour. Good amount of tractive force. So all I had to do in a few months of just running it, I was able to fill up. Look at this. 75% full in construction waste. Okay. And coal here, 40% full. Like, for money reasons, I just stopped filling it. Also I don't want to wear and tear it more than needed. But, as you know, if you've been following the series, if there's anything that this series will teach you, it's how to manage money, or at least somewhat effectively. And, a line of credit's always more important than a full-on loan. You want to borrow as little as possible because interest is a terrible thing. If there's too much of an upfront loan, your cash flow can be pretty bad. If it's, well, you're gaining no equity. It's just like anyone who buys a house. If there's one thing I can say for you, maybe I could, on the topic of making money. If you're ever going to buy a house, don't ever buy more than you need. Just buy the very minimum you can afford and work your way out of it. Okay. Like, I know in some places 5-10% down is possible and they'll let you buy a house, but I wouldn't even recommend that. I'd say, save up till you have at least 50%. Renting technically isn't such a bad idea. Like, one of the things that they mislead you about when you buy a house is that it's just the interest. But no, if you own a house versus renting, you got to pay property taxes. You have to pay usually property insurance, and there's other bank fees associated with purchasing a house. Like you have to pay a real estate agent, and unless you're actually going to stay somewhere for at least 3 or 4 years, you're actually generally, depending on the situation, but you're usually better off just renting. It's a bit of a scam, home ownership. It's sold as the dream to a lot of people, and as a homeowner myself, it's one of those things I highly regret. I wish I never would have bought a home, or at least I wish I would have, put down, bought something that had less of a mortgage, because I've been paying the principal for too many years, and I learned my lesson the hard way that you're better off. You don't. Interest is like, if you think about it, let's say, 100. Let's say $500,000. Okay, that's just a round number, and you pay 10% interest a year. You're paying $50,000 in interest. That's not towards the actual equity. And let's say your payments, like the most total you can pay is like 60,000. So that means even though you're putting a little bit towards the principal, for the most part, it's the same as renting. There's no difference. That's how much interest makes ownership problematic. Bank interest is another way of renting to people. Like if the best way to understand it, that's what interest is renting to people. And most homeowners aren't really homeowners. They got a bank loan, and it's the banks. All these anti-landlord kind of groups out there. I swear to God, they're funded by banks because banks are the ones that are like fundamentally responsible for the problem because they're the ones who charge the interest rates to the homeowners to have the property to then uh, rent out. But so the banks just want free money. At least the homeowner maintains the place, right? So it's the bankers are just much much worse than homeowners, but they spend a lot on PR to make you think they're not so bad, but they're bad. Like, and your best bet is simply not to take on too much of a mortgage. Rent as long as you can. It's a renter's market. At least um, in the mid 2020s, it's definitely renters markets. Uh, you're you're just way better off until you can set up a situation when you are making mortgage payments that the bulk of it is towards the principal, not the interest. So that's just basic advice on an episode about making money. The area where the most stuff happened between episodes is over here in Houston. I think Houston's going to become a real city someday because it has the oil here. And if I'm going to explain my money making scheme, um, the first thing I thought of, okay, so in this game, the reason I'm in debt is because I'm borrowing money to build stuff. But at some point, I'm going to have to stop building stuff. Like, um, I know there's construction equipment idle, but I have to just leave it idle. Maybe I'll be doing a lot of repairs. The goal is actually, once I'm starting to really make money here, is to have it so that the actual people aren't building infrastructure anymore, but generating revenues. So I know it was mentioned in previous episodes. I was thinking of making a meat supply chain out here in San Francisco. To make meat, it's a very simple process. You lay out these farms. See, you have various farms to pick from. See, like this. This is a big one, and you place two of them. If you've played the campaign, you know how this works. Again, this is just for someone who might not be familiar with the game itself. And I think for most players, this is actually a common start. This is like this might be a more logical way to start the game. I don't know. I wasn't too enthused by it. It seemed a little boring, so I didn't do it right away. But at some point, um, I think it does make sense that uh, we do have some farms here, okay, or these fields, and they work with these small farms, which are also on the same. So in the crops section, we have fields, and then we have these farms, and the farms, if you've been watching the series so far, they work a little like mini construction offices, except they provide food. And once they, so what happens is workers will go into the farms, and you have things like combines, tractors which sow the seeds, and closed hull trucks that will move the grains away from the farms. Grain itself, or the crops, they'll just stay here until a truck brings them over here. And usually this is where you store them, or a grain storage. I know we have usage for the crops over here in the city with our food processing plant here. Like we could use crops, but we're probably just going to bring those crops in from Canada with our train line. Maybe we'll add some fields over here later. So this is the other building we built here, a livestock farm. They take the crops and they produce livestock. And then after they produce livestock, we'll build a slaughterhouse. And you see this converts livestock to meat. And then meat, if you've been following the series, is one of the things that people want in their malls and it makes them happy. So this is going to be one of our ways of making money. And the reason I've done it here specifically is because I would like to build an oil refinery in the future here. But the technology to do that's going to take a while to get. So they'll just be idle unless they're working on something. So we can work on this district here once they run out of things. These things I think are set to low priority because it's just for something to do, right? Because this is long-term planning. And once this is built, the construction workers that are being used at this construction office will probably be vastly minimized. They'll probably even tear it down and make it so that the buses are just dedicated dropping off at this little bus stop here. So this is one of the ways to make money in the game. It goes a bit with the theme. It makes a bit of money. We need meat anyways. We already got food and alcohol facilities in Los Angeles, so it just kind of made a bit of sense. And this will be one place we make some money. I'll go over a few other revenue generators in the map as we get closer to spring here. I really would like to just blast through this winter here and not worry about making money just yet, because it's really hard when all your workers are basically just keeping the place heated. Let's just have a check here. Oh yeah, we got too many workers at the heat plant. Another thing I did here is, if you noticed when I was loading up here, you'll notice this crane. It's in a perfectly logical place, right? That's where they put these tower cranes in the middle of, gravel roads to hoist up bridges, right? But not, don't build a factory with the crane. No, don't send it to the distillery factory, the multi-story distillery factory that has this tower here. Just let the guys make it on scaffolding. But no, send it to this bridge here instead. Now this is probably a little pointless, this construction now, because winter's coming to an end, and this bridge needed to be done. I really wanted this to be a priority thing before winter started, but yeah, it's taken forever, and I think winter's gonna be over. They've just been using this little cut through here to get to the heat plant. Oh well, what are you gonna do? So, well, we just gotta get, once these workers aren't going here anymore, we'll get them working on our other money-making scam. Like, if you think about it, making all money is a scam, whether you're an employee or an employer. Like, if you're an employer, you're scamming workers. You're paying them far less than their fair share of what the enterprise usually generates. And if you're an employee, you generally give the least amount of effort possible to maintain your job. Like, you might say you go above and beyond, but there's certain things like, if let's say your email's not working properly, and you have to go through an extra process to sort your emails each day. And meanwhile, someone in IT could fix it for you. But how is that job security for you, right? If someone's, if you're working perfectly efficiently, they can lay you off. So that's kind of that's the scam of making money as a worker. Like, I know, I've been a worker and an entrepreneur. I know as an entrepreneur, I worked a lot harder than I was as a worker, because there is, like, when you have equity in your own business, you're definitely more likely to work hard. There's no incentive for to be inefficient as an entrepreneur. But the unfortunate thing with entrepreneurs is that rich people prefer you don't exist. So they don't, like, if you go to most banks, at least in Canada and quite a few in the US, They won't give you a loan unless you have a cash flow to begin with. So it doesn't matter how hard you work or what kind of value you add to society. Um, Generally, Western societies are crony capitalists right now. So even if you're the hardest working person, you won't be rewarded for it in most Western societies nowadays. China is a little different though. Like China, they have incentives to develop things for the public. So that's a little different, but you're better off being a worker scamming a company. I know a lot of people that have jobs that you know I don't think they're very hard workers, and I don't think they're really contributing much, if anything, to society. But that's their scam, right? And there's businesses like that too, where they're underpaying people, um, and the owners, reap all the rewards, and they justify it saying they work the hardest, even though it's debatable if they actually work the hardest. Because having someone show up for work for you every day, that's an absolute blessing. Yeah, making money is a challenge. Everyone's got to have a grift. You can pretend to be a business owner. You can pretend to be a worker. Life's a stage, right? You take on a role. You pretend to be a streamer. There's all kinds of things you can do. In the end, you need money, right? And I was actually thinking of a song. It was called the Financial Terms Keyword Song. Like things that if YouTube's AI was picking up on, and I just said the words a bunch, maybe the video would be ranked higher and give more impressions. Because from what I understand, it's a good revenue generator. And as if you've been watching this series, this is part of the show. Just stupid things like this. So I don't know, how would a financial terms keyword song go, and maybe like the AI can assess the voice quality. Like, what if it's singing, right? What if I'm singing these terms, and the AI goes, "Wow, that's better than just someone talking about fiscal conservatism or financial planning or managing my money, right? Like I'm managing my money because I need to fiscally plan for things. Economy's good, money's good, investment song, like something like that. Maybe if it's a little bit more melodic, it ranks higher, and then the show makes money, and that's I think that's a thing that I got to work on the real lyrics of it though. I just was making up the lyrics there, and I don't want to pretend that I can sing. The point is I want the AI to figure out what the words are. The fiscal. I guess the words that it would look for is money management, um, financial planning. Like that's a real job. People really get paid to do that. Can you believe that? That's not like it's not real. Like that, you're not producing anything if you just help manage some little tokens of others. That's actually not technically contributing to the economy, but it does uh, get you paid on YouTube, because there are people that have a lot of money and they don't know what to do with it. Again, we've gone over that in previous episodes about the secret of capitalism is greed. People who earn lots of money and don't want to stop earning money, and it's just they're wired that way. But then every now and then they're faced with, how do I invest my money, right? That's the questions they start asking. So we'll see. We'll see how that does for a money making episode. It'd be interesting to see if this episode, relative to the other episodes, makes more money. Like most of the time, I'm just doing stupid things in this show, and I don't think they would. I would actually, uh, get any good paying ads in the show because it's playing video games. But maybe this one, we'll see a bit more financial planning as you know, just maybe it'll trigger more views somehow. It'll just come up there. Maybe someone's looking for investments and they're going to be inspired by this video. Maybe that's it. Well, we'll see. Yeah, I just want to get through this winter here. I'm not too just keeping an eye on things here. Bloody all the way down the mud roads. They don't even look at this. This highway's not even you turn your head for a second. It all started with this fire here. And as soon as this lasts, like these construction workers can start rebuilding it again. Let's just keep an eye on other things. Keep an eye on supplies. You never know what's going wrong. Well, see this here? They're doing a reconstruction. There wasn't any problems here. Just see that reconstruction process. So you'll notice too the buildings. See over here. If you're on your phone or something, you probably can't see this. But and if you don't have like max resolution, I know if you do have max resolution, you can read this. But buildings have wear and tear, and so do the machines. And you gotta every now and then your construction office has to send some supplies and some workers to fix things, and every building has to do that within the range of the building. I don't want to go super far. I don't want to go. Actually, you know what? Let's lower the range of this. We don't want to be going into San Francisco and fixing stuff. That's about as far as we want to go. And yeah, so they're maintaining things. I think it just lowers the amount of workers you can have. It does, like, unless the place is fully saturated with employees, it doesn't really make that big of a difference. Let's check out other things here, like our food factory. Yeah, we got a few workers showing up for work here. Yeah, this is okay. Just so, bit of a spoiler. We're getting a bit further into the episode, but this is one of the things that is supposed to make money here. We're supposed to be bringing enough workers in to produce surplus food to fill up the food stores here. But right now, it seems like they're only making enough to go to the mall here and deliver the food to the mall, right? Which is good because we need that for them to not die. So that's usually a good trade-off. Your first rule of money making is to not let your workers die. That's usually a bad for business. The next thing is to make sure they can get to work. And this bridge here, okay, this is so annoying that winter's really going to be over by the time they can use it. But next winter will be the smoothest one yet. And one of the reasons I decided to go ahead with this bridge, even though it's a little expensive, is that I'd like it so that the workers in this house here can just walk to work. And I set it up so there's sidewalks on this road. And I think they'll be able to walk this distance here. I might add a little bit more paved sidewalk over here to extend the range a bit. But then we can just have our heat workers in the city itself. I had a coal delivery route. And because our train now can deliver coal so fast. Uh-oh. See, we're running low on coal here in the plant. Mind you, winter's coming to an end. Maybe we should add one more to auto coal. Yeah, just because I'm a little bit worried about running out of coal. That's really low. That's really low. Like, the worst case would be workers show up, but there isn't enough coal. So let's find... Okay, let's do this one here. Let's send it to... Is this the best condition one? Yeah, let's send it to auto coal. Give it a little bit of extra coal. And... we'll start that up. Doesn't need to be repaired. None of these vehicles are getting repaired right now because the workers are delivering the coal, frankly. This is one of the places they work normally. Is the vehicle repair shop. So let's see. Oh, 5.2. This is very, very close to empty. Very close to empty. I want to see where the auto coal gets the coal from too. I hope it's not the border. No, yeah, it's going to the border. So to make it a little faster, let's make it so it gets it from our coal bin here. It gets, like, you also preferably don't use uh, the a customs house to pick up goods if possible, because it adds to the lineups too, right? So now this truck's going to grab some coal. Probably keep an eye on that truck. Where is it? Is this auto coal? No, this is the distribution office coal. The problem with the distribution office is there's not enough room for other coal trucks. So we don't have the technology for bigger ones. So we have to use one of them on an auto coal route. So I'm curious how much coal there is now. Oh. Yeah, I wonder if this actually at any point might have emptied during the winter. Well, that's something to be mindful of. Okay, so, well, hopefully that fixes up. Not much you can do. Again, this is realistic mode. You can't just buy coal and fix things. If you don't plan far enough ahead, you're punished in the game. So there's so many little details here. Most everything else seems okay, though. That's probably the number one tip. The number one way to make money is to not spend it. That's, a penny saved is a penny earned. Waste not, want not. But yeah, like in my lifetime, I was never paid very well, but I was, I'm a little bit retired. Like, I can afford to do the streaming and hope it, I would hope at some point it makes money, but it doesn't have to make much money. I just need to make a little money off this. I didn't get paid very well or fairly or anything in life, but I spent very wisely. I never got caught. I never traveled. I went on one vacation, like in 30 years, and always bought cheap everything. Cheap, cheap, cheap. Don't spend as little as possible. And there's people that have made a lot more money than me that are still wage slaves today, but they don't know how to spend their money. They buy it and spend as fast as they can. I don't. They get so caught up in the hype of things. They go to every concert, buy every little thing they can, and yeah, that's why they got to work. So it's not because you're not being paid enough. It's because you don't know how to spend your money. Because I was paid even less than you. So how did I do that, right? Because I'm super duper cheap. That's the number one way to make money, is to not spend it, is to be as cheap as possible. I guess the number two thing, if I was to say, in addition to not spending being the number one thing, the number two thing is spend wisely. Just buy things that you need, and buy things that make money. Don't buy things that devalue or depreciate, right? Like, one of the scams of rich people is to buy property and then petition against, or at least endorse the non-development of new homes to protect their investment. Again, it's a scummy thing to do because it literally directly causes homelessness. That's obviously not a good thing for society, but and we should have laws against that. But it is a way that a lot of these groups make money, right? And yeah, I guess the third way is just to get market something, propaganda. That's another popular way. But you got to be rich to make money. Like, to earn money, you have to have a certain amount of leverage to begin with. Like, the first, like the third most important thing, I guess, is propaganda for earning money. The idea itself of what makes money is kind of irrelevant. Just through experience, like, the best ideas I've ever seen haven't really been the things that succeed or have more to do with how rich the person is to begin with than anything else. The quality of the idea, even the execution, isn't nearly as important as having a rich person have the idea. So anyone who thinks they have $1 million idea, it's because it'll only be worth $1 million if someone who has money endorses it. Otherwise, it's worthless. That's just how it works in Western society. Socialist economies don't work that way. You know, good ideas get brought to the forefront. There's a lot of data that shows the quality of life in socialist nations as being superior to Western nations today. But again, the propaganda of Western nations hides that fact. So, I'd say that, you know, but do what you can, right? I'll assume most people watching this live in a Western nation. Yeah, don't spend money. And the bit you spend very, very wisely. And those are the 1 and 2 most important ways to make money. And probably the only ways you really can make money, truthfully. Again, every episode has a different topic. I haven't done this before, the making money. We had a little bit of a fire here. We were watching our fire get fought as I was talking. It was a little hard to talk, actually, while I was watching that and stay on topic, because I'm like, oh my God, our brick factory is going to burn down. But it managed to survive. Let's just check things out here. Oh, we ran out of coal, but oh my God, there's workers there and there's no coal. Oh my God. This is a disaster. There's the coal truck. Okay, you know what we're going to do? I don't know. Oh, that's a major screw up. Major screw up. I think I'm tempted to not send heat workers anymore. Like, I noticed they're queuing up a bit too here. We might have more workers than we need. So I think I'm going to grab one of these here, and I'm going to switch it back to Mexican workers. Yeah, that's what we're going to do with this one. This bus will become Mexican workers. Actually, this one here. And this one here, I think, too. Okay, we got a little bit of coal getting delivered here. Yeah, I wonder if it's been running out a little bit over the winter. This is an interesting topic. I noticed lately my internet bills have been coming from Gmail accounts. Usually my internet, like it says my internet's due, and I have to click a link on these Gmail accounts lately. I've been seeing a few of these, and I think that's a little strange, don't you? That your bill notifications come through a Gmail account, but I noticed that a lot, and also the internet service provider that I owe them from. I didn't think they were my internet service provider. It's a different internet service provider. So that's an unusual thing that's been happening. Like, this is just a real story. I could show you these bills. I could show you my emails, and they're coming from Gmail now. It's crazy what's going on out there. You'd think that the internet providers wouldn't use Gmail to send the bills, right? And I guess they work together. You know, all the companies they're in cahoots with, monopolizing the internet service provider markets. So maybe they mix up, which, like, I thought I was with a different company, but apparently I owe other companies money too. Actually, it's not just internet providers. There's a lot of bills that I get through Gmail nowadays that it's hard to keep up with. It's costing me a lot of money. This is an example of, I talk about fake jobs on the show, about people that, they look like they're normal workers. They look like they're doing something, but there's nothing there, right? You knock on the door, but nobody's home. And they can still get paid lots of money, these people. And I wonder if these are the people that would possibly be so eager to pay their bills. Do they think I'm stupid? Why would they send it to me? Why am I being targeted with these phishing? Is it because I'm 50 years old? Is that that's not senile. I grew up with I'm pretty tech savvy. But maybe they just go by age. And to be perfectly honest, a lot of guys I know that are in my age group half of them, I'll say half of them aren't very tech savvy. Like younger people, 40 and younger, very tech savvy. Almost everyone knows how to use a computer to a certain degree. But there's a certain, as you go up and up in the age bracket, there's a certain amount of, like, there are some people that still to this day, since the tech innovations or the tech revolutions begun, early 2000s, they're still to this day, they think it's a phase and it's going to go away. That, the same people that thought automobiles would go away and the horse would remain. There's a percentage of people out there like that, and it's definitely the older people that are more likely to be like that. And it's not to say all old people are like that. Oh my god, another fire. Where? Oh, what is this? Oh no, that's not a good place. That is not a good place. Uh-oh, uh-oh. 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 We gotta pause this here. You know why that's not a good place? Because that's the only power supply for our water treatment facility. Mind you, there's a bit of a buffer for a water treatment facility. So, even if we lose electricity for a bit, they'll only lose water for a bit. But I think what I want to do here is very quickly make another... so I don't know if we're going to be able to get to this fire in time. This is in the dead zone, right? We have a fire station here and a fire station here. We have no coverage here. I don't know if the fire truck's going to make it. Let's see if we can... We should do this anyways, though, right? Let's see if we can make it in time. But we should have a redundant power supply for certain buildings like that. We'll see if that helps. But I want to really quickly place another... okay, this is a bit of an emergency. Just to make sure our water plants are covered. Maybe it goes a little past. See, here might be not a bad idea. Yeah, it destroyed it. It destroyed it. Now we have no water. See how, like, normally it's not a big deal, but that's like one of the worst places it could have happened. And now we got, so they're going to demolish. Okay, we do got to pause here. We're going to have a little bit of water. I think it will still try to drain or clean water out for a bit. So they're not going to complain about water yet. They haven't noticed the problem. That looks straightish, straight enough. And that reaches, that'll give electricity to it. So we'll start working on this as a new one. We'll set this high priority and we'll assign everyone to it. And it's a little project, so this could get built fairly quick. It only takes like a few trucks to build this. And let's set up ourselves another power line here. A little bit of an impromptu project here, but you know, you need to have clean water in the city. Maybe right there. Yeah, right there. I think is a good spot. And like that. Run along this line here. This is a little impromptu. Sometimes it's good just to see this. We don't do much of the building of the power lines. I usually do this between episodes. I think I want to leave one free for over here for something in this zone here. And yeah, I think we'll grab this one here. I think that's the best line. Right there. Can we get to there? Oh, there we go. That's the solution. I think we're going to have too close together, but that's the way it's got to be. Build it, and we will set that high priority. Whenever something's very important, always be sure to set it high priority and like force assignment. Like, don't assume the construction office will scan and find it. Actually, on the topic of this actually makes me just an interesting observation here. Did you know that every circuit in the world is a parallel circuit? every circuit in your house and in the city you live in and in the country you live in is a parallel circuit. Now, the level of nesting, the number of branches that goes to each parallel node, it varies, and what it is being powered varies, but every electric circuit is, that's what your breaker box is. It's a bunch of parallel circuits, and that's what your house is on the grid, right? And that's what this substation is, right? It's running in parallel with all these other substations, and all the substations run in parallel, and everything runs in parallel. And that's how electricity works. So just an interesting fact about electricity. Let's check out the coal levels. Oh my God, we've been running low. Like, this has probably been happening for a while. And we're going to have to leave that auto coal delivering for a while. What's going on here? He's got construction waste. What? Oh, he has construction waste. No. Okay. Okay. I got to... I'm just going to discard that cargo. Okay, that was when he grabbed their truck. See, that's another thing. Well, lots of people died because of that, but oh well, what can you do? Stupid things. How can they not know to do that? Like, they just go empty it out somewhere. I didn't even see I thought it was empty. I don't know where it got that from. Like, that really is bizarre. I'll have to look at the replay of this to see if I was imagining that it was empty and I didn't notice the construction waste, or something else weird happened. So one other topic I haven't talked about in this series is the topic of video game addiction. And I do have a video game addiction. I play too many video games. And that's one of the things, as you watch this series, it's giving me an excuse to play video games. But also, the way I'm dealing with my addiction is I have to do a show, whether it's just a stream, whether I'm streaming for the script of the show or the show itself. It's the only time I'm allowed to play video games. Like, I have to deal with my addiction. I've made it my profession, if that makes sense. And if other people can do that, I think I can do it. Like, I think I know more about video games than most people. Like, of the people in this world that would make good presenters of video games, I'm probably on a short list of, video game players. I don't know anyone who's played more video games than me, personally. Like, maybe younger people play more hours a week than I do, but I've played for more years because I'm older, so I know more genres of video games. So one of the ways I deal with my addiction is to become a streamer. That seems like that's how you do it. If you like have like a drug habit, the solution is to get a profession where it's acceptable, right? That's an analogy to having a video game addiction. The solution is to become a streamer. That's it. There's no other solution. Well, check this out. Our bridge is done. We don't have enough coal. This is just, I can't, this is unbelievable. Unbelievable. There's no coal. And all these workers are going here. You know what? Let's just send them to Mexico. What's the difference? They may as well. They may as well go to the Mexican worker route. Because there's no coal. Oh my God. Okay, well, something to keep in mind of. They haven't been complaining about the heat too much. Yeah, they're not really complaining yet. I think there is a bit of the heat exchanger has a bit of latent heat in it. So they get a little bit of buffer, but oh, they're just going to work. So maddening. So maddening. Oh, this place ain't getting heat. I don't think that place gets heat anyway, so it's not a big deal. Once the money-making scheme starts, there's going to be a lot of construction. This place is going to be full. Like, I know previously I'd say that's a bad thing. But the reason it's not a bad thing here is because it means we're buying less materials, spending less, right? Remember? Rule 1 to make money, spend less. But the reason it was usually viewed as bad is because it meant the workers weren't working. But we're going to be putting our workers on other things. And I'll probably try to grab as many of these machines as possible and repair them. So when I'm resetting them to the Mexican workers line, I'm actually sending them to this route here. The line goes here, and then it goes here, and then it synchronizes itself with the end station. Basically, we're increasing our supply, or our repairs, and okay, oh, we need more workers here. We need more workers here. Oh my god, there's way too many lumber workers. Way too many. Let's make this to 0. That would be the correct amount. And make this to as many as possible. That's the correct amount. Okay, so we got to fix this. This is another element to it. Is this lumber industry I've been working on here. But I need some open hull trucks to actually make money off it. Okay, this one's got to get to work on it. So I set up this route here called US Lumber. And we're going to activate it. Maybe this truck was on US Lumber. No, it had no route. So we're going to set this one to US Lumber. Right here. And it's going to go. We have other stuff to repair. I wanted to repair it, but 39% is good enough. So what this guy's doing is it's picking up lumber here and selling to the US. And then it picks up logs if it can from here. The thing is, though, we have no logs right now because we have no workers. But what I want to do is create a line of Canadian Lumberjacks. And let's just see what... Oh, yeah, it is active. Okay, so the Lumberjacks aren't stopping here just yet. So the way Mexico makes money is the workers get picked up here. Well, they make money for the U.S., right? Well, this is, or the, Soviet America here. Just like real life, right? Where you get other countries to do all the work for you. So they bring the workers in here from Mexico. They get dropped off here, and they can either work at the sawmill, the woodcutter's post, or the brick factory. We bring the Mexican workers in. They go here. They do some work. The route itself, we could actually load it up here. It unloads 20% of the bus, and the bus have about 7 workers on them, and then the rest get unloaded here, which then go to the gravel recycling plant, which takes this concrete construction waste and makes gravel for us, or they build track for us, or they repair vehicles, and then they head back. So that's kind of what they do. Okay, thank God, winter's coming to an end. We're gonna get a little bit of money making in here. But let's move these to the Mexican workers line, because they're waiting unnecessarily. Whenever I see a bus waiting there, I'm gonna just switch it over. And then around mid-March, well, let's just do our census real quick here. 9,485. Okay, so that's the lowest pop. I think maybe maybe indirectly our coal supply issues might have killed a few people. Oopsies. Oopsies. That's what they say in governments, right? When things go wrong. Oops. This is just a game. And these aren't real people, so it's not a big deal. But we'll be okay. We had a few unfortunate accidents here. I am a little concerned of this electrical line here. Yeah, at least it's getting started. That's a good sign. This one needs to be cleaned up. Okay, And we could assign a construction office to it too. We'll assign this here. And we'll make it high. Priority as well. Yeah, we had some issues there. I didn't notice we were out of bricks as well. So this is how we're going to make money. The Mexican workers go in that way. The Canadian workers, they go to this, their Canadian Lumberjacks line. Right now they're not stopping here because I need a truck here before I want to drop them off here. But they'll go here. The other half will get dropped off here. And because there's all these jobs, so they're kind of doing the same thing as the Mexican workers over here too. So the workers are going to create some logs here. They'll create some logs here. They could create some lumber, and they could create some bricks here. And then this truck then hauls the goods back to the United States, or back to Canada, and sells it to Canada. So that's how the US makes a bit of money, by selling its lumber to Canada. Okay, so we don't need 20 workers. To be honest, 5 is probably too much. I'm not starting, you'll notice I haven't been starting any construction projects really. I'm just kind of finishing up what's out there, you know. And they do have to do reconstruction and replacing of machines and whatnot. At some point, I expect these machines or these construction office machines to begin getting idle because they don't have enough work to do. I know there's some new buses coming out soon. I just want to do a check. I think I'm not going to buy any new buses. There it is. That's the bus I've been waiting for. One of them. There's 2 main buses that I think are cool. It's this one, and then there's a bigger one. Look how fast this thing goes. 110 kilometers an hour. This came just at the right time. Or, sorry, it's been out there since 1962. I don't remember seeing it, though. Maybe there's not been any used ones. No. Okay, let's, okay, over here. Since we have Russian workers, let's buy 2 right here. We'll buy 2 vehicles. Because, yeah, those are really good vans. There's nothing faster, I don't think. So, 110 kilometers. A couple of those. That'll solve that issue. At least, like, if there's surplus workers here, now they can move at like, this highway goes 110. So they're fully maximizing the speed on this highway. And this is really good for little projects in the area here. Like, we need power to this area too. It wasn't just laying out. This was a few hours of planning between episodes when I did this. But we need them to start building the power line. So I don't, like, obviously this won't be done in this episode, but maybe in 1 year it will be. So in the next episode, we could see what this looks like. It's getting into March. Oh, it's 20 Celsius right now. We don't, we can almost shut down the power plant. I think we're going to assign another one here to the Mexican worker line. And, oh, look at that. It's going over the bridge. Oh, that's nice. Yeah, this is interesting, the routes it'll start taking. It's so hard in the early days when you play this game. And each year you watch this world unfold. It'll get more and more, like, streamlined and efficient. But it's, you know, it's a challenge. This is realistic mode. This is one of the more, like, I do not recommend playing this. Do not start at this difficulty setting. This is like playing Civ at Deity right off the bat. You will not do well. Like, I know I make mistakes, and you might think I'm a complete idiot just because I call myself an idiot, and I am an idiot. But some of the things, like, even non-idiots would have difficulty in this game. It's just that challenging. And you know what? This is one of our vehicles. We're going to allow for repair. As soon as this one's... So I bought this one on sale. Look at this vehicle. It goes 90 kilometers an hour. I can level 29 speed of getting trees and 23 tons of wood. That is so much better than like, and we're going to send that to our Canadian logging office, and that's part of our money-making scam. Prior to the 23 ton one, 16 tons capacity is the most we had, and then other ones are, look at this, 4.1 ton. Like, that's how good that truck is. So let's get that repaired. We don't need heat workers anymore. I want to make this, let's just check, see if they can walk to work now. Yeah, perfectly timed, right? Our workers in this house, I set it the highest priority to build this bridge, and it was finished right after we needed it. But next year, so, you know, that's not a good money-making principle. That's mismanaging capital a bit, but whatever. It's you can, in this game, all you can do, you have 3 settings. You just set the priority something. You know, you set it low, medium, or high. It's not like real life where you can actually tell people what to do in this game. They decide for you. And if I could have, you know, if I could very specifically order the completion of construction in this game, I would, but I can't do that. It's beyond my control. And maybe that's, you know, a lot of central planners have the same issue. It's beyond their control. Nothing they can do about it. So we're building a little rail line here. Let's just make sure everything is, oh, that should be assigned to, that should definitely be assigned to a construction office here. These 2, that should be done. So we want to get it so that while our train here, where our GG1 is parked, I wonder if we could flag it repair. Yeah, not quite yet. But while it's parked there, our track builder is increasing our capacity so that multiple trains can go through here. And the 2 trains that I have in mind, even though we have only 1 engine, is the track builder itself, while it's building other tracks, needs to cross over with the GG1. So that's kind of the logic to that. Oh, I know. Oh, that's why it's not building that way yet. So let's set this to, it's going to be low priority. Okay, we'll finish up this little bit here, I guess. Whatever it's doing. Actually, let's set it to low priority, because we need to be able to occasionally turn on the GG1 and refill our construction waste and resupply our coal. Speaking of which, let's just check our coal levels here. Okay, yeah, now we're surplusing a bit, so that's good. We might be able to stop our auto coal. Next winter, we'll have to remember to enable that. Maybe I'll set up a coal buffer. Well, we don't have money for that yet, but just remember next year we need 1 auto coal truck. That was a mistake this year. So let's send it back to, we need it here. We have a shortage on dumpers. Like, there's no dumpers there, right? So let's get that back there. And let's keep an eye on our money making here. Let's make sure we have enough rubles to operate. Let's have a quick check to see if that power line got built, our new power line. Well, these things are done. That's good, right? 39 work days, high priority. They're working on it. I think people might be complaining about water, though. Oh, they're unable to get food or meat. Why? Why? Just go to the store and get the food or meat. Okay, everything seems okay. There might have been enough water in the reservoir here, because you have a. Okay, it is out now, so they're gonna start complaining. I think this had a sufficient at one point, but now not so. I think I'm gonna lower the number of workers here, because it's, I think, like, we have way more than we really need there. That's another way to make money, is to just really nitpick how many workers you have at each facility. We don't want to be spending money. That's the secret to making money, is not to spend money. So I'm going to start we're gonna maintain things and we're gonna generate revenues. Okay, so I've been notified that uh, a male Karen is a Kevin. Some people think it's a Ken, but I think the correct term is Kevin. Um, why? Because it starts with a K, it ends with an N, and has 5 letters, just like Karen. That's the main reason. And Kevins are male Karens. They think that they're nitpicky on every little thing. They can't uh, like with me. I wear socks with holes in them. I just don't care. A Kevin would never do that. A Kevin would always have the best socks, the best everything, and complain when not being taken care of. So uh, this that's the correct term. If you're a guy who wants is just likes things neat and proper and a certain way, and then you get upset when things aren't a certain way, you are a Kevin. That's just what you are. Maybe you know a Kevin, but that's the male Karen. Again, Kevins and Karens are both trained to be consumeristic. You get brainwashed by ads, and you get convinced that you're privileged or you deserve the best things in life because of propaganda, and therefore you've become this. And it does. It's not good for the economy. It's terrible for the economy, actually, because you consume more than you produce, right? Just like this game teaches us. If you don't produce more than you consume, you are a burden on the economy. And I know a lot of people have been sold the lie of trickle down economics. I spend money, therefore I. No, you don't. You actually harm the economy. That's exactly what you do. That's just a lie. The reason they make up that lie is because the corporations profit off Karens and Kevins, and they want you to act that way. And if a building, it gets burnt down after it gets built, and you have to build it twice, the company that does the building makes twice as much money, right? So that's kind of the reasoning why it's promoted that way. But Karenism and Kevinism, if the U.S. is gonna survive the fiscal cliff, it has to come to an end. Karenism, Kevinism, you gotta tighten the belt. Sometimes you gotta make sacrifices. You are uh, just as involved in this as anyone else, and if you don't do that, there aren't many other places money can be saved. But like clamping down on Kevins and Karens is definitely one way the U.S. can save itself. Borrowing money does not make you money, by the way. That's not a good way to. That loses you money because they charge you interest. This isn't real communism. Real communism, you'd have a cooperatively owned bank or a credit union, as they're called. But no credit unions in this one. None of the profits go to the people. That's for sure. But let's send this bad boy here. This is gonna make us some money before the end of the episode. So help me God. Oh my God, this is the best. It was on sale. I think I got it for like 25% off or something, or it had a bit of wear and tear, but we repaired it right away and we're good to go. Oh, we got to keep moving our trucks over. It's now almost April here, and we need less and less heat trucks and more Mexican workers making us money. Money. Actually, you know what? These are going to be Canadian workers, right? We're going to start our Canadian Lumberjacks route. We'll get that set up before the end of the episode, and we'll see if. I don't think we'll be making any positive cash flow yet, but it would be amazing if by next episode the interest rates start going down because I'm taking enough chunk out of it. Like if I'm outperforming the interest rate, that's how you make money. That's how you eventually pay your debts off. But I want to edit this line here first. So here we're going to add a new stop. Now that we have a truck there, the workers will now go to the wood cutting post, and then they'll go to here, and that's it. It's a short route. So that will eventually make us some money. As a YouTube worker, I need food and I need a house to live in. So I do need to get some view times. I need view times help me make money. That's the cost to this, that it's not just me playing a video game. It's the cost of the electricity. It's the cost of the house I'm in. It's the cost of me needing to eat. So that's the difficulty of being a YouTube gamer. I need to eat, because if I don't eat, I can't do the show, and you wouldn't be entertained, and then the economy would fall apart or something. I don't know. This is like, let's get real here. This is a fake job. Like I'll be honest here, but what are you gonna do, right? All entertainment's fake jobs. Entertainment isn't necessary for the economy. Any pro athlete, any singer, anyone who plays an instrument, you're not contributing to the economy in any way. It's really a net zero. Like, it actually has a slight negative effect, because it takes out people. Like, if you think about the game developers who are real workers, and if you think about the people who make YouTube and make computers and all the stuff you need to see and make the food that I need to eat, that's the cost of it, right? That because I'm not contributing to the necessities, I'm just contributing to the surplus. Now, in a advanced economy where there's more than enough workers to make basic things, okay, I guess this is contributing to the economy. It's adding a wealth of knowledge. But in general, in most societies, this wouldn't be considered a real job. I'm not counting it as a fake job yet, though. It's not like, only when there's an AI streamer out there, I think then maybe there's evidence that entertainment, like if an AI starts making music better than anyone else, well, it's a good run, humans, but yeah, the gig's up. So what are you gonna do? You can't be a Luddite, right? In case you don't know, Luddites are these people that rather than accept new technologies, they just denied them just to keep their jobs. That's typical human behavior. That's how a lot of humans behave. But they went a little too far. Okay, our episode's getting into the 2 hour zones here, so I gotta start winding down here. I only have so much time before my roommate's back, and I won't get as much pristine background quiet. You won't get the background noise you're accustomed to, that quality background noise you've been listening to for the past hour or so, when you fell asleep and you just realized, oh, the show's still going on. He's still talking. Maybe you're going to buy some extra stuff because of it. But I think we're going to start winding down here. I just want to double check here. Let's get our money-making U.S. lumber route working. So we got loggers. Okay, here they come. Here come some workers. Look at that. So there's a few workers. Let's show up, and we're going to send some more. Okay, that's just the beginning of it. Okay. We're going to grab a couple more. Oh, this guy here, what's he doing? Oh, he never started his U.S. lumber route. Okay, we got to get that lumber out of here. Okay, we don't want to go over capacity anywhere. Okay, yep, the woods. See, just so you know, we have multiple buffers here. So when this runs out of wood, the wood will start getting pulled out of the woodcutter post directly, or it'll get pulled out of open storage directly. See? Like, nothing actually picks up wood, but the reason it's going down is because it's going into the sawmill right now, right? The sawmill's pulling it right now, just as I'm explaining it here. So it doesn't have any issues with wood supply. So in case you're wondering how that works, that's not me mismanaging the money. So our payments right now, $24,782. If we get enough cash flow going here, that number will go down. And eventually our interest rates will go back down to 2.8%. So that's a bit of a goal here. I'd like this crossover track to be done sooner than later. That would be nice. and then the two trains can use this simultaneous, this area, and not sort of block each other. In realistic mode, just a warning, trains are really, really difficult to manage. I'm not as smooth as like this. Like, I wouldn't be this smooth if I hadn't played it once before. And you really got to think about what train is going to be on what piece of track. While our train is being warehoused, we'll definitely consider building as much track to double up where we can. Let's continue to get every worker off of heat, because heat, okay, and I'm going to, yeah, so we'll send this to the Canadian Lumberjacks route. Now we only have one heat worker left. Just find that last heat worker and switch them to our Canadian. Okay, so this guy's heading back. Oh yeah, just in time. So we're gonna make him Canadian Lumberjack right there. And now we have no heat workers. Okay, so maybe those people living in LA will manage it for a bit. We'll see. It's not a big deal. It's mostly above freezing right now. Now here, the only issue here is now that we have workers getting dropped off, we have to be regularly picking up that lumber. So we need more US lumber routes. I had 3 before when I was testing this last summer. And now we got 3 again. And let's just see if that's that makes us a bit of money here. Okay, now we're really fighting it. So this is also a non-dead hauling. Like, if you're familiar with dead hauling, it's when you have an empty load. So the way this route is working is pulling lumber from over this area here all the way to the border and selling it. But then it's empty going back. But because we have a stop here, it'll pick up some of the wood. So this is running very, very efficiently. If you've played other, logistics games, rail simulation games, you want to do this. This is how you make money in other games, and it's applicable here. So this in theory should make us some money. I guess we'll find out in the next episode. I have a few other topics here, but I guess we'll do them in a subsequent episode. And we are getting a little late here, and I think we should just wind this down here. One other final comment on making money. Just the full strategy of this is, like, not only are we going to make meat money in rubles and lumber money here. As you know, we have oil here, and we're going to probably research fuel refinery once our technology. Let's have a quick check at our tech right now before we sign off for the episode. Oh, 81%. Okay, so we'll all, the first thing we'll do is, once we have waste sorting, we'll be able to make a bit of money out of that. And then finally, the oil refinery, which should be another source of money. And that's kind of going to be the objectives the next, as we go forward, is to get to a positive cash flow, because we can't be doing crazy things until we got positive cash flow. That's just how it works. The U.S. isn't, able to afford wasteful citizens like YouTubers, because the only reason they're able to do that is because they've already done all the basics to be a well-organized society. But in our Soviet America here, we still got some work to do to make money. So if you enjoyed the episode, let me know. If you got comments, suggestions, not just this game. Eventually, this series will come, or this season will come to an end. Once we get to 20,000 people and making money, I think I'm going to call it a season then. What game will I do next, right? What would entertain you? So just comment below. Leave a like if you're enjoying the series, and I hope you enjoyed it. And yeah, that's us making money, and we'll see how much money we have for the next episode. So I will see you next week.